Welcome back to Ice Cream Sundays. My name is Tara, and each week I'll be sharing a different homemade ice cream recipe with you. And this week I made a s'mores ice cream. It's a toasted meringue custard base with crunchy chocolate covered graham pieces. So for the first step, I'm going to make the Swiss meringue, and I just combine the sugar and the egg whites in a bowl, and I'm just whisking this over a simmering pot of water. And I'm just going to continuously whisk this until the sugar is dissolved and the mixture reaches 160 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, if you don't feel like making your own meringue, you can certainly melt down some marshmallows or use marshmallow fluff. Then I'm going to set this aside to cool while I work on the custard base. In a pot over medium-high heat, I'm going to add my milk, cream, and salt, and I'll just wait for that to come to a simmer. In the meantime, I'm going to whisk together the egg yolks and sugar. Once the liquid is simmering, I'm going to slowly add this into the egg yolk mixture a little bit at a time. And this is just gently bringing up the temperature of the egg yolks so they don't scramble when added back to the pan later. Once I've added about 2/3 of that liquid to the egg yolks, I'm going to add that back into the pan over medium-high heat, and I'm going to allow that to thicken. Once the mixture has thickened, I'm going to pour this through a strainer into a bowl. Then I'm going to set this aside while I whip up the meringue. So with my stand mixer, I have my egg whites with a whip attachment, and I'm just adding the cream of tartar, salt, and vanilla. And I'm just going to allow this to whip until I get stiff peaks. Once I reach stiff peaks, I'm going to toast the meringue. So I'm going to toast this in batches. So I'm going to toast it once and fold it through. And I'm going to continue to do this process until I get the toastiness I am going for. So I believe I did 4 rounds of toasting and mixing until it looked like this. Then I took about 2/3 of the meringue and I just whisked it into the custard base. Once the meringue was fully mixed in and lump free, I went ahead and put that over an ice bath and stirred in the vanilla. Then I just stir this occasionally until it's fully cooled. And while we wait on that to cool, I'm going to make the graham and chocolate component. So I'm just taking some golden graham cereal that I've roughly chopped, and I'm adding some melted chocolate, melted coconut oil, and salt. And I'm just going to stir this in until all of the cereal is fully coated. Then I'm going to pour that mixture onto a lined baking sheet, and I'm just going to spread it as thin as I can, and I'm going to pop that into the fridge or the freezer to set up. While that's cooling, I can go ahead and churn the custard base. And once the graham mixture has set, I can go ahead and break it up into bite-sized pieces. And after about 40 minutes, this is what the ice cream is looking like. And now I'm going to add in those graham pieces. And however much you add is personal preference. Once all my graham pieces are fully mixed in, I'm going to go ahead and start layering my ice cream. So I'm just taking a freezer-safe container and I'm putting a layer of ice cream on the bottom. And then in a piping bag, I have the remaining toasted meringue, and I'm just going to swirl that through each layer. Once I've used up all the ice cream and the meringue, I'm going to go ahead and cover and freeze overnight. And here's how it looked the next day. Surprisingly, s'mores is one of my least favorite desserts, but I do like all of the components separately. I just think a s'mores is kind of dry, but in ice cream form, I think it's pretty good. So if you are a lover of s'mores, I think you'll really enjoy this ice cream recipe. As always, I thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Ice Cream Sundays. Please make sure you like this video and subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you in the next one.